I spent so much time getting ready to be a teacher, and then I was finally a teacher, and now I'm not, and it just is really hard. Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maylene Call from Mrs. Call's Campers. If you're new here, I am a teacher who just recently moved from Tennessee to Northern California, and this is an update video. So if you follow me on Instagram, then you know that my husband John joined the Air Force. I am basically going to update you guys on how the entire military situation has been, what I've been doing, teaching jobs, and all of that fun stuff. I do have to backtrack just a little bit to when I got my very first job in Middle Tennessee, because at this point my husband had started the process of joining the Air Force, but we were waiting on something for it to go through, and I don't want to get too specific, but basically we didn't know when he was going to go to basic training. So every month it was just, oh, is he gonna leave this month? Is he gonna stay this month? It was really stressful, hated it. Finally in February, he was going off to basic training, and that was really hard. We hadn't really ever been apart for a long period of time. We did get to write letters. I got the occasional phone call, but it was really hard and it sucked. And the only thing that really helped me get through it was the fact that it was February and it was the end of the year. So I was super busy with my kids, and I could devote a lot more time and energy to them to keep my mind off of him. And because it was so close to the end of the school year, it worked out kind of perfect, because my last day of school was May 24th and John graduated May 30th. So I went to San Antonio, Texas, spent a few days with him and his family, and we did fun things. And then I went back to Tennessee, and John took a bus to Mississippi where his tech school was. At this point, moving from Tennessee to Mississippi was a no-brainer. We had been apart so long, I missed him so much. His tech school was supposed to take 6 months, but it was self-paced, so he could go through it as quickly as he wanted to, really. So my family helped me pack up my apartment on the 3rd floor in Tennessee, and we drove down 7 hours to Biloxi, Mississippi, where his tech school was. John and I were living in an apartment at this time, and we basically kept everything that we didn't absolutely need packed up in a box still, because there was no point in unpacking because we were just gonna be leaving again. A lot of you guys asked how I liked Mississippi and if I enjoyed it, what was my favorite part about it, and to be honest, I didn't like it at all. The entire time we were in Mississippi, it just kind of felt like one big transition period, and I didn't like it. And it was also really hot and really humid there, and there wasn't a ton to do. In Mississippi, there's pretty much like casinos and the beach, but there was like a bacteria in the water, so we couldn't even go swimming on the beach. John did move through his tech school pretty quickly. He did awesome, he's amazing, but pretty much week to week we were just waiting to see where we were going to be stationed. And in the military, they do let you have what's called like a dream list. So John and I talked, and we put bases that were both overseas and stateside. One of the overseas bases that we chose was Germany, and one of the stateside bases that we chose was California, among others. And he ended up getting stationed in California, which is where I am now. I'm currently in my house in California. I did get requests to do an empty house tour. I did that. I'll link it for you here when it's out. It's obviously coming out after this video, so it's not gonna be up right away, but it will be there. So to move to California, they gave us 7 days. So from Mississippi to California, we had 7 days to get there. And what everybody tells you to do is to take each and every day, make stops along the way, and enjoy yourself. What John did was he took some leave so that we could spend a little bit of time in Tennessee. So we went from Mississippi to Tennessee, spent a couple of days there, and then from Tennessee to California, we took a 7-day road trip, which I was so nervous about because I absolutely hate driving. I swear I'm gonna die in a car wreck one day. If you followed me on Instagram, you saw the whole journey. So we went from Manchester, Tennessee, which is where we're both from, to St. Louis, to Kansas City, to Lincoln, to Cheyenne, to Salt Lake City, to Elko, to Beale Air Force Base, which is where my husband is stationed. Now, the 7-day road trip was a ton of fun. It was a ton of fun. It was nice to just get to relax. We didn't have as much time in each city as we wanted to, but it was okay. I do have to say, towards the end of the road trip, I kind of started panicking a little bit, because anytime I pulled up my GPS, that little blue dot would be way on the other side of the country, and that was just such a weird feeling for me. Honestly, it was. At one point, I like kind of wanted to cry, but I don't know. That's just me. When we got to Beale Air Force Base, there was nothing. Apparently, a lot of bases are like that. It is a base that is surrounded by nothing. You feel like you're in an entirely different world. And we actually had to stay on base for a little while in temporary housing because we hadn't found a house yet. So up until this point, I hadn't really done anything teaching related at all. Honestly, everything was just kind of, and still is, kind of just overwhelming to me. Once we found a house, which is the one I'm in right now, things started feeling better. All of our stuff was being moved from Mississippi to California for us. I didn't have to worry about it. I didn't have to pack it up. I didn't have to do anything. And our stuff actually got to California before we got to California, but we didn't have a house. So there was nowhere for it to go. So it was in storage. And then when we finally got a house, this house, we had to be here for, I think it was like, maybe like 4 or 5 days, and then our stuff came, and then I was dealing with everything. I'm still dealing with all this stuff that we have, but yeah, so I hadn't really been focused on teaching or getting everything sorted out with California. And for me, honestly, that's been the most overwhelming part, because not having a classroom has been so incredibly difficult. So the stress of moving across the country and dealing with all these new things and military stuff and moving in and getting this house, I've been really overwhelmed, and I feel like I've just had this big list of things to do that I feel like is never gonna get done. And as far as transferring my teaching license to California from Tennessee, I expected it to be really, really simple, because I have EdTPA and it's supposed to be like a national certification, and California is one of those states that says, yeah, great. But I really have no idea what I'm doing, to be quite honest with you. And a lot of your questions revolved around my teaching license and transferring that. I sent them an email and asked about their requirements, and I said, hey, I have this, I've taken this and done this. Do I need to take any additional tests? And they said, no, we won't look at them. But I have lots of California teachers telling me like, hey, you are gonna have to take these tests and pay for these tests, which actually I think the military will pay if I need to take any tests to get recertified. But honestly, at this point, you guys, I'm not sure. I'm just being honest with you. I'm working on getting my transcripts and everything sent over to an office in California so that they can hopefully tell me I'm just good to go. But to be honest, I don't know. If I do end up having to do anything extra, I'll let you guys know. I might do a video on transferring my license, but hopefully I won't have to. Hopefully everything will just fall into place. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Because I am so ready to be a teacher again, you guys. I had to pause for a second. I also feel like I'm rambling, so I'm just gonna hop into a couple of your questions that you guys asked me on Instagram, because a lot of them were really, really similar. Did you know he wanted to join the military before you started dating? Actually, yes, a lot of his family is in the military. It was always something that he had kind of talked about, but he didn't go through with it until, like I said, this past year. What do the upcoming years look like for your husband and his work? So like I said, my husband's job is called networking. Now I forgot which one it is. Cyber, I think it's transport. Maybe I said networking earlier. I don't know, it's something to do with cyber something. Something to do with networks, I don't really know. He is currently in processing, but then he'll go to work every day. And I think he said that people here don't necessarily get deployed a lot. His job is deployable. Hopefully that won't happen, but if everything goes the way I kind of want it to go, we'll be in California for the next 3.5 years. Did you just leave your storage shed with all of your teaching stuff when you moved? Yes, I did, but the Air Force is actually going to move it for me from Tennessee to California, but I'm not bringing it yet because I don't have any place to put it. I don't have a classroom yet. So yes, I left it, but it is coming. What are you most excited about in your move to Cali? Honestly, I'm excited to be on the West Coast. I haven't really traveled much in the United States other than like the general Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, like that kind of area. So I'm excited to be over here and do fun things over here. Honestly, I don't really know what to do. I know there's lots of outdoorsy things to do. I know there's like the redwood. If you have some fun ideas that I could do that are kind of in my area, let me know. Cause right now I'm just kind of winging it. Oh, you know what? I'm excited to go to Napa Valley. I lied. That's like what I'm most excited about. What's your favorite part of moving to California so far? Well, okay, so we've only been here a short time. We pretty much just got to Sacramento. I went to IKEA for my first time ever, which was amazing. But honestly, my favorite part is just having this house. And yes, we're renting this house, but we have a house and we've lived only in apartments. We have Tesla. Now we have a cute little backyard. We have an adorable little kitchen and it's our home and I'm so excited about it. How are you adjusting to being a military wife? I'd say okay. To be honest, I don't really feel like a military wife. I know that sounds weird, but I don't. I just kind of feel like a normal wife. It is kind of weird for him to come home and talk about military related things and I just kind of nod but have no idea what he's talking about. There's also other things that I have to do. I don't like a lot of things that have to do with the military and like their requirements and how strict they are on certain things, but I don't necessarily feel like a military wife, if that makes any sense at all. We're not living on base. I'm not in any communities or anything like that, so I don't necessarily feel like one, but I guess I'm doing okay. Will you start teaching even though the school year has already started? I sure hope so, you guys. I miss teaching so much, and when I found out that I wasn't going to be able to be a teacher this year, my heart broke. I've cried over it many different times. I have dreams at night that I have either my old kids or a different class that I'm teaching again. I hate not being a teacher. I'm scared like that my license is gonna be messed up or anything, because when you're a teacher you have to have like 3 years before you get your professional license, and everything about it just scares me, not having a teaching job right now, and I just miss it so much. And going on Instagram is really hard because you see all these teachers. I haven't been watching any like teacher YouTubers for the most part because it's just really hard for me, but what I plan to do is hopefully be able to take over something starting in January for next semester and then have a full-time position the next year. So maybe, you know, a teacher will be retiring, or maybe like there will be a maternity leave or something kind of long-term, so that I don't have to spend the next few months subbing and subbing. That would be great. Do you plan on subbing in your area? Yeah, I do. So hopefully I can get started with all of that here pretty soon. Get to subbing for the last half of this semester, and then starting next semester have a teaching job, I hope. I don't know, you guys. This is so hard. Do you think you'll miss this time when you get back to the classroom? Honestly, I don't think so. I think the best part about all this has been that I've gotten to spend so much free time with my husband. When we first got here to California, he had 10 full days that he could take to house hunt, so we could spend so much time together, and it was just really nice. But you know, now that he's in processing and he is going on base and I'm here by myself, I honestly hate having all this time. And you know what, I told myself I was going to be as productive as possible, but there's still nothing like being in the classroom. And you know, I've only had 1 year of experience, so I'm not really at the point where I'm like, oh, this is a long-awaited break. I feel like I'm going crazy. I really feel like I'm going crazy. I spent so much time getting ready to be a teacher, and then I was finally a teacher, and now I'm not, and it just is really hard. So no, I don't think I'll miss all of this free time. I honestly am someone who thrives on having things to do, to be busy, to have a schedule, and I miss it. I don't want this video to be super long, but I do want to say thank you to you guys. Thank you for all of your support, messaging me on Instagram. It's been amazing just to know I have you guys behind me and everything I'm doing. So yes, I plan on subbing. Yes, I plan on getting a teaching job. Yes, my license will hopefully be transferred over one way or another. I'm just taking it day by day right now and trying really hard to be as happy as I can be in this situation. I know I did take kind of an unintentional break from YouTube. I really didn't mean to stop making and editing videos, but it just kind of happened. I wasn't necessarily in a great place mentally. Like I said, I really felt like I was missing out on everything. But I finally feel like I am in that place where I'm ready to start putting out more videos for you guys. I have like 4 that I need to edit, and I've got a ton that I want to film for you guys. So thank you so much for being here, for being understanding, for being supportive. Always, I love you guys so much. If you have any questions that I didn't answer, make sure you drop them in the comment section, or you can message me on Instagram. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one.